Hello, my most amazing artists. How are you today? I am so happy to be back again with you today. I hope you guys had a fun time playing the Pictionary telephone game. I just love that game. I've actually played it again just for fun. So I would love to see you guys see what you created. So if you want to send it along to my email, I don't know if there's a way to post it there to the Facebook page. I was hoping there was, but I'm not sure that there is. So if you just want to send it along to me, I always have a fun time seeing what you create in that game. Today I thought we would do just a fun drawing activity where you can create it. It's more of an imaginary drawing activity, and you can make it look any way you want, and that is to create a robot. I always think creating robots are fun because you can put such an imaginative flair on them. You can create them to look as metallic and stiff as you want, or you can create them to look just a little more flowy and whimsical. It is totally up to you. So I'm just gonna do a couple of examples today so to kind of get you started, and then have at it. And I would love to see what you create too. Alright, so the first step to creating your robot is to think about what you want the head to look like, or that's where I start. And you can create it out of any shape you want. Now remember, a shape is a two-dimensional object. That means it has height and it has width, but it does not have depth or thickness. So with these particular robots today, we're just going to make them two-dimensional. Get that extra little line off there. All right, so there are a couple of options, as I said. You could start with just a rectangular or square shape to start your robot with. You could start with a circle. You could start with maybe a semicircle or a half circle. Or you could even start with a triangle. You could also do a pentagon, a hexagon, or any other shape that you decide you want to come up with. And then give your robot some personality. I think for this guy, I might give him a singular eye right in the middle. Sometimes my robots end up looking a little bit like aliens, but this really, just when I sit around and doodle, this is one of my favorite things to do, is just create creatures that come purely from your imagination. And the fun thing is that sometimes they are brand new thoughts on paper that no one else has ever seen or thought before. And to me, that's one of the most fun things about creating art, is that it is something that has come completely from your own imagination, and it's something brand new to share with the world. Now, I know that drawing robots probably won't change the world, but it's a way to start expanding your imagination and just really getting your creative juices going and thinking in new and imaginative ways. So if I were going to take my time, I could make that much neater, but right now, I'm just kind of getting thoughts down onto paper. So I'm not too concerned with just how neat and perfect my robot looks. I just am putting some different shapes down in different ways, and with my finished product, I might even take the eyes from this guy and end up putting them on this guy, and I might take a hat from another guy and put it on another one. So right now I'm just, like I said, getting ideas down onto paper that will help me put my final project together. What I would love to be able to do is create a real robot. And sometimes I have seen people gather just little scraps and little things around the home that they don't need anymore and put them together into what looks like a fully functioning three-dimensional robot. And if you have little old tools and gadgets that your parents no longer want and they even want to help you with it, that would be something really, really fun to just find old, cans that have been cleaned out and toilet paper tubes and various things like that, and you can put them together into an actual three-dimensional robot, and then you can make up a little story about what your robot does for you. Maybe your robot does your homework for you or cleans your room for you. That was definitely not something that was around when I was younger, and now we're almost to the point where we have robots that clean our rooms for us because we have those little Roomba vacuums. That's practically like a little robot that cleans your room, so it's possible. Okay, I'm gonna add some little ears, and if I really wanted to think about it, I could come up with functions for each of these things I'm adding. Like maybe one is a GPS, or one is a signal that sends a message to another robot. So I could come up with stories, and maybe this is a filter. It's a mouth, but it's also a filter that filters clean air in my room. Maybe that's what this robot does. Okay, that's a couple of heads that I can play around with and make little changes to, but I'm basically just using shapes and putting them together in lots of different ways. I do need to think about a body for my robot. I think I'll just focus on these two heads since they're down towards the bottom. You could make wide, short necks. You could make long, skinny little necks. I think I might give this one a long, skinny little neck, and then if it's going to move around, it's going to need some little sections that would allow it to be flexible, I think. And then I think I'm kind of inspired to just continue going with this same shape, so I'm just going to do it again, and then maybe give it one more section and do it one more time. Now I'm gonna do some kind of segmented arms. We did a bug drawing activity in the classroom. Some of the classes did, and they had these little segmented arms, and so I'm inspired to do that again. And then I think I'll just go ahead and do some details. I think this guy is kind of like a metal patchwork quilt. So it's just been pieced together by lots of different sheets of metal, and it has little bolts that are holding it together that I'll add for just some detail. This is one of my favorite parts about drawing, is taking the time to add detail. That is really fun to me, to just get into all the little specifics. All right, we'll do this as well to kind of match the top. And then the last thing, how's my robot gonna get around? I think I'm gonna give him kind of like wheelie feet. So we'll just do some little half circles. And sometimes it's fun to have a feature of your robot that you repeat. And so in this particular robot, the head was a half circle. The two other remaining body parts were half circles. The wheels on the bottom are made of half circles, and the arms are segmented into sort of half, not exactly half circles, but half ovals, half shapes that are round. So it's kind of fun to find one piece of your robot that you're going to incorporate through the whole thing. All right, my other robot, I think I'll do a wider, kind of little short neck for him. Just go with a square or rectangular type body for him. And I'm gonna do the same thing for the legs. I'm gonna do them kind of segmented like I did before, but they'll be rectangularly segmented. So you can kind of start imagining if these guys could really take off and start moving, what would their movements look like? And that kind of determines or the way I put them together determines how they would move around. And she or he, I just sort of went with she for her. This robot would just kind of glide along on the wheels, and this robot might have more clunky movements as it moves around. I think I'll do the same rectangularly segmented arms here. And I'm gonna do like a claw type hand for him or her, or neither. Okay, come here, Lola. All right, I'm just gonna add some details onto this robot, and not really worried about what it looks like, but I am sort of thinking about what processes they might be able to stand for. This one is going to have some dials in the middle and some frequencies or some type of measurement, wavelength measurements that it's measuring or something. Okay, well, I think I'm going to come to a close right there and kind of play around with this again, and the next time we meet back, I will show you what I've created. I hope you guys have fun with that. Again, that's one of my favorite things to do, is just sit down and let my imagination flow out onto paper. So I'm going to play around with this a little bit more, come up with something brand new, and get it down on paper to share with you guys. And I hope you'll do the same with me. I do not mind. In fact, I love it when you all send your drawings along to me through my email. The last few days, I've gotten so many emails of pictures of your animals that you've created, and it has made, or the animals that you drew, your pets or your favorite animals, and it just has made me so happy to see that you guys are doing art and enjoying it. Everyone take care, and I will see you again really soon.